Hey, good morning everyone, and welcome to KevinandFred.com. I'm Fred. You can't see me. I'm off camera. He's Kevin. He's too busy to pay attention to you. And
hey, there you are, dude. Where were you?
Well, I'm the remote again today.
No, yeah. I heard you talking, but I didn't. You weren't on set. I don't.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. That T-shirt, that shirt, I should.
It's not a T-shirt.
No, I know.
It's got a
I'm
freaking
sorry.
collar and
it's a collared button-up shirt. I think is affecting your brain today. Are you okay?
Wow. I'm just trying to match the theme of the website.
You're doing well. You're doing well. I brought some blue into it today. A little blue. A little yellow on my shirt. I got a new shirt. What do you think?
Looks like your dog peed on it.
That's gross. So hey, last episode we talked a lot about activities and how we need to be clear on what activities we need to accomplish desired results. And so the follow-up conversation to that is, if you've actually done the math, so let's just quickly go over that. Let's say that your goal next year is to make $100,000. Well, how much is your average commission in your city? Let's just, for the sake of argument, call it $5,000. Okay, so you need 20 deals. And some of you are like, no, I need 40 deals. But either way, doesn't matter. You need 20, 40 deals, whatever that number is, to hit that $100,000. Right. Well, how many people do you need to put under contract, considering that some are going to fall out? Work your way backwards. How many people do you need to meet that are actually going to want to put something under contract? And then to actually meet those people, how many new leads do you have to actually have that are going to turn into people you get to actually meet with and have listing agreements or buyer consultations with? So, listing consultations. So, with that in mind, now that I know my numbers, so for us, for example, and I have no problem sharing some of our numbers. Right now, what we've determined for some of the numbers and things we're looking to do in our business is, on a weekly basis, we need 30 new leads. Yeah. 30 new leads on a weekly basis.
Yes.
We're also looking to hold 7 listing consultations or listing appointments here in our office on a weekly basis. Yes. So, I'm focusing right now on listing numbers, not buyer numbers. We have those as well. We have other numbers as well, but let's just focus on those two for a minute. So if we need to get 30 new leads a month and we need to hold 7 listing consultations a month, then there's some lead generation time that needs to be blocked out on somebody's calendar on our team in a big way to accomplish those numbers, because those are not small numbers.
Absolutely.
30 leads, just so we're really clear, is 1,500 leads a year. 30 leads a week is 1,500 leads over a given year,
which is a lot.
That's a lot of new people we have to at some level come in contact with.
1,500 new people every year. It's a lot.
It's an absolute lot.
When you again, kind of going back to Mondays almost. I mean, when you talk about 1,500, that's a lot. When you go 30 a week, that's manageable. I mean,
correct. So
okay, so 6 a day.
So I need 6 a day for 5 days a week conversation. Yeah. Can I get in contact with 6 people a day? Well, yeah, we could freaking open up the phone book probably and talk to 6 people a day. And probably if I was a hardcore, salesperson and script guy, I could probably produce 7 listing appointments in the Phoenix area just by calling out of the phone book all day long. I probably could.
I think so.
Now, we have a different lead generation idea in ways that we are getting those 30 leads, and consistently now, since the beginning of the year, we have been averaging over 30 leads a week. Yeah. So, and if you want to know more about how we're doing that, you might just want to go buy our Short Sales Gone Wild audio-video package. It's up in the e-store for $99. I mean, my goodness.
Because the first half of that is all about
lead generation, and we actually share in that class which ones we're doing and which ones we're not and everything else. Anyway, so let's talk about lead gen.
Of course, that required investment and some time.
Yeah, so what are the tips and tricks? This is not Kevin and Fred talk. This is stuff we've learned from people that have come before us. Most of this is Gary Keller shared and researched. Yeah. But what are some of the top tips, now that I know how many leads I need to go out and get to make my $100,000 or whatever my number is? What are some top tips for me to be able to accomplish those goals?
Well, you need to not only know, hey, what is that number of leads that you need, but hopefully that means you already know what percentage of conversion you have to have. So how many of those new leads are you going to be in front of? How many are you going to get face-to-face with? Yeah. Or maybe potentially it's a phone consultation instead, depending on how your business is set up. And then of those, how many of those people are going to say yes to you and then do business with you? Okay. And so that's it. Okay. You've got to be able to get in front of those people and turn the new lead into business.
So what do I do with my time? Because time's the one equal that we all have. Absolutely. We all have the same amount of time. So when people go, that's not fair, that guy did this or that guy did this, or we all have the same amount of time,
guys. It's leverage. I mean, it really comes down to leverage and time blocking. And so, as an example, on our staff, we have somebody. Her name's Stephanie. She's our listing agent.
Yeah, and she's a freaking rock star.
Yeah, and Stephanie's job all day long is to get in front of those people.
Yeah.
Is to make the phone calls and get in front of those people.
In fact, do you know that I think she came in around 8:30 yesterday morning, and I think she was out of the office at 1. Now, I don't know where she was because I don't necessarily keep track of her every minute.
Yeah,
but I think she had a few listing appointments and stuff in the afternoon, so she left the office for the day. But do you know between 8:30 and 1, whenever she left,
50 phone
she made
calls.
50 phone calls.
Yeah, I do know that.
You know, and left 25 voicemails.
I know that because I check her activities every
Yeah.
day.
Yeah, but that's what I mean about activities. So now we know these activities and we know what we need to do. Now we need to time block. And the most controlled time of your day, the best opportunity you have for controlling your time and maximizing your time is the morning.
Well, I think that's a great point. You actually just mentioned Stephanie left our office at 1:30. You and I didn't see her again after that.
No.
I thought she'd gone to lunch and then she just never came back.
Yeah.
What she did is she had appointments. She had listing appointments that came in the afternoon.
Correct.
Now, she got here at 8:30 in the morning.
Yep.
And she made a minimum, but she made 50 phone calls. I know she sent.
She locked herself in a room and
she
just,
literally locked herself.
She literally left her desk, grabbed her phone, and locked herself in one of our empty offices.
Yeah, she went to work
calls.
and she did her job. So she time blocked her day. She said, "Here's my time where it's for new leads."
Yep.
Because as Gary would say, don't ever let your current business get in the way of new business.
Correct.
So she didn't. She went and said, "Hey, I got to go get new business from this time to this time." She then left because she had afternoon appointments, and she went and listed a couple new properties.
Yep.
So for us, when she leaves the list, it's not to get their commitment. It's they've already committed, and she's going to get every last thing that she needs to be able to put it into the MLS because it's already signed business. We've already got it. And so she did that in the afternoon, not in the morning, because she understands, and we've worked with her a lot on this over the last years, your morning is your protected time. That's the time that you have that's most protected, it's most valuable. You make your phone calls. The afternoon is when you have time to meet people in person, you have time to take new listings, put in MLS, etc.
Yep.
And that's exactly what she did. I think so it's a perfect example.
So protect your calendar. Know the activities you need to do. Know them not just on a yearly basis, but on a weekly basis and a daily basis. Hopefully recommend 5 days a week or so. Maybe it's 4 days a week because you know what? We take vacations and stuff comes up. So figure out what you need to do in your life to get those activities done in 4 or 5 days worth of work every week. And then focus, time block. Don't let anything show up on your calendar before noon. I mean, seriously. No meetings, no client appointments, etc. All those happen in the afternoon. You need to be focused on new business. And that new business happens in the morning. It's those outgoing phone calls, those outgoing emails, those follow-ups that you're doing with people, those things where you're working on new content, you're filming your videos for your website, whatever lead generation activities you're doing, that's happening in the morning and it's not being interrupted. And your rest of your day is filled with consultations and appointments and meetings and whatever else that looks like. But your mornings is where you're going to make your money. It's your most dollar productive time. It's where you're going to do the 20% of the activity that are going to make you 80% of your money.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, it's that simple. It really is. See, this thing is it really is that simple. You know, it's hard for us to grasp, but it's that simple. We'll see you next time.